Next trade. We got ourselves something that happened while I was on the bus. I was on the bus over to school here, and the notification came in on my phone. We get ourselves another New York Rangers trade here in this early morning for today's trade deadline. The potential Winnipeg-New York deal is Winnipeg's 2019 first, Brendan Lemieux, and a conditional pick in exchange for Kevin Hayes. Bob McKenzie believes that this is the agreement, and the trade has basically been confirmed verbally, but it hasn't been called in yet to the league. So what we have here is a trade that immediately I saw a lot of people saying, yeah, well, Winnipeg kind of overpaid in this one. That is a fair argument to make, but at the same time, we know that the Jets are capable and they're willing to do these kinds of deals. We saw this with Paul Stastny last year. So Winnipeg gets themselves Kevin Hayes, the big 6'5" center left winger who's up to 42 points in 51 games this season. That's actually quite significant. Kevin Hayes is on pace to being better than his career high. His career high 49 points in 76 games. That was 2 years ago. Last year he had 44 points in 76 games. This season he's got 42 in 51 games. So he's legitimately upped his game up. 26 years of age. He's still got room to grow. Obviously, he's a free agent at the end of the year, so we kind of know why this was done. This is a rental move, and Kevin Hayes, whether or not he stays with the Jets going forward after this season, he's probably going to have a big impact on their team, helping them out as they go into the playoffs. And you remember, the Jets made the conference finals last year, and they lost over to Vegas. So the Jets do have that mojo, they have that momentum going into the playoffs, and a Kevin Hayes at a 5.175 cap hit just for the remaining few months, it's not going to be too bad at all. Now, the Winnipeg Jets, they did give up a few assets here, most notably the first, Brendan Lemieux, and the conditional pick. Now, whatever that condition is, it's probably going to be like how far they make it into the playoffs, whether or not they re-sign Hayes, something weird like that. It's always like that, isn't it? But going over things right here, Brendan Lemieux is a guy who hasn't necessarily had the best of options here. He has 11 points, 44 games played with the Jets this season. He's been a pretty good AHL guy, but not necessarily all too good in the NHL. Now, he is 22 years of age as a left winger, so he's still got a ton of room to grow. So going over Brendan Lemieux, I think he's a guy that will definitely help out the New York Rangers and their future. And that's assuming if he goes and projects in the way that he actually does. So, Brendan Lemieux, he's always had that potential to be a middle six, maybe a top 9 NHL forward, but going over to New York, he's going to be having that chance to really succeed. We all know that New York is getting rid of all their guys. They got rid of Zuccarello, they got rid of Kevin Hayes, and now they're bringing in the youth. They have draft picks, they have young guys coming up, and Brendan Lemieux looks to be a part of that future going forward. So overall, this is a good trade for the New York Rangers. For all the stuff they got, a first Brendan Lemieux and another apparent pick just for an expiring Kevin Hayes. And for the Winnipeg Jets, you might say that they overpaid, but hey, you gotta pay for the guys that you want, and they really wanted this guy. So that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Pleasant Gaming, and bye.